Good morning and welcome, welcome. How are you? I'm nervous. I'm nervous every single Sunday. This is the conversation we have with Patty every morning on Sundays, every Sunday morning. I tell her, oh, I feel very insecure about my talk. She says, you'll do fine, G. You always do fine. I feel very invalidated. It's like, how can you say that? You don't know the agony I go through before every Sunday. The anxiety I feel. You just think that I just pull it off every time, when in fact this is my reality. Ever since I was this little, I wished myself to this country, and I was born in Transylvania, as most of you know, I'm sure by now. And I always wished myself here. I always thought that there was a big mistake and I was accidentally born there. I should have been born here. So, when I was 23, I landed a scholarship to a master's program in Ohio, and I came here. And then, of course, I stayed, and now I'm here. No surprise that I'm here. I wished myself here all my life. But this is what I remember. So think about this. All my life, I wish myself here. And then, finally, I get the scholarship. And then I get some funding, and I buy my ticket. I had never flown before, never sat on an airplane. I always wanted to. It seemed very exciting, but I had never had the experience. Then I got the scholarship, I have the ticket, and the date of my departure is approaching fast. So everything in my life has built up to this moment. And the closer I get to the day of the departure, the least I want to leave. It's like, no, I don't want to go. Well, why is that? It's been my dream. It's been my dream up to that point. And now, when it's time, I don't want to. So if you think that it's a terrible thing when your dreams don't come true, try having your dream come true. It is a very scary place. And do you know why? Because it makes one very vulnerable. Wow. This big dream of mine is coming true. Am I enough to meet the moment? Can I actually make anything of this dream that I had? Am I good enough? Will I belong into this life that I have dreamed for myself? And then my dream has come true. What now? I've spent all this energy, all this creative thinking to make this happen. It's happened now. What's next? It's a very vulnerable place. It's scary for so many reasons. It's the same reason that every Sunday morning I have all this anxiety. Only when it's about a big dream, that anxiety is on steroids. It's overwhelming, which is why I didn't want to do it. Because I knew that it would reveal something about me in a very big way. Also, I didn't want to do it because although it was my dream, it still meant stepping into some tremendous unknown. And how am I going to handle that? How can I mean, don't you want a sense of certainty? Like you want to know what's going to happen? And then this means that I really don't know what's going to happen when I get to this country, how it's going to be, what are the people like here, grocery store, the whole culture. So then it takes courage, right? To still get on that plane and then go. What does courage mean? So the word courage, it comes from the Latin word cuore, heart. And it means basically to tell your whole story with heart. Whole story with heart? Can we negotiate that a little bit? Do I have to tell it all, the entire story? I mean, there's parts of it that I'm happy to tell. Every time I succeeded, every relationship I did not fail at, I'm happy to talk about that. I'm happy to talk about accomplishments that turned out fine. So I'm happy to talk about this. But courage means to tell the whole story with heart. So that means then that I have to talk about that too. This is fine, but that, all the relationships that I did fail at, all the times when I did not show up with integrity, all the times when I was definitely less than what the moment required of me, all the times I lost my temper, all the times that I wasted. This is okay, but that too, we certainly don't want to deal with the that. That requires tremendous vulnerability. To stand in front of people and just own it all. This and that. But if we don't own it all, there's another problem. We can't be authentic. And then we always have to pose and always just present this. We want to be seen as this, but we're that too. And you know, when people pose to you, we know it, and we're not really attracted to it. We're a lot more attracted to people who just let you see it all, who are willing to be vulnerable and show you that life is this and that. Those people are relatable. We are more likely to seek out those people, more likely to listen to those people, take advice from those people or guidance, or just even be in their presence. When we are only willing to own this and not that, the thing we must do is numb ourselves, because that is there, right? So in order not to think about that, not to have to deal with that, we end up numbing. And there's different ways of numbing. You know all of them. Drinking, drugs, shopping, gaming. But it's not just that way to numb. There's other ways to numb too. Intellectual reasoning. That's a good one. And I think Unitarian Universalists can relate to that. They move into the intellect, where you don't have to feel a whole lot, and then you just go into this justification. The other way we numb, we turn uncertainty into certainty. What does that look like? It's religion today. Religion is truly stepping into the mystery, into the unknown. That's what religion is. And what is religion like today? It looks like certainty. So the mystery part has been done away with it. And then it's certainty. We know exactly what hell and heaven are like. We know exactly who's going to go there and who isn't. Give me a break. And then we know what's good, we know what's bad, we know how to live, we know how not to live, and moreover, most importantly, I know how you should act. So we turn uncertainty into certainty. And that's part of numbing. Because you can live then a righteous life. There's things that are acceptable, things that are not acceptable. And we're no longer in touch with our own feelings. We just adhere to some rules. And that's safe. Adhering to rules without applying ourselves and understanding what these rules do to us and what they mean and why they were created, it's safe. It feels safe. But it comes at a tremendous sacrifice, price. And the price is connection. So we're no longer connected to our own selves. We no longer have to look at that. It's okay to just look at this. It's a righteous way to live. So there's no connection with the self. And if there's no connection with the self, how can I connect with you? And then how can I really connect with life? And then we start making even more rules that make even less sense, and they limit life even more and more. Why would I even say political discourse? There's no political discourse in this country anymore. There's just blame. You know what blame is? Blame is the process of displacing discomfort. I am not comfortable, and I want to give it to you. I want to make it your fault. It's your fault that I am not comfortable. That's the whole political process anymore. It's because there's no vulnerability, certainly no courage, but there cannot be courage. That's my point. Courage without vulnerability does not exist. It's bravery. Bravery doesn't require vulnerability, but bravery kills people. So courage without vulnerability is not possible. And without vulnerability, connection isn't possible. And then without connection, society breaks down. There's no longer a discourse. It's just blame shifting. It's just disconnection. It's horrible. So why am I telling you about this today? Because the theme for our month is preparation. And that's exactly what I want us to do, prepare. Prepare for the work that is ahead of us. And we decided that this year we are going to live into this 8th principle that we all voted on. And the 8th principle is to accountably dismantle racism and other forms of oppression. Accountably dismantle. So it means we have to engage some very serious work. And it's not enough to just talk about it. Talk about it can be numbing. Again, we talk about it to death without actually ever changing anything, without actually causing serious shift in consciousness and therefore in reality. So that requires, last week I talked about willingness, and it also requires courage to engage this process. And I keep telling you that I am feeling very insecure about that, because I've never done work this large. To me, this seems like one of the biggest tasks that I have ever been called to in my life. I have done a lot of self-work, right? Which impacted me, and then it impacted some people who live around me, but relatively a small circle. And now I am called to do work that would create impact on the larger community, and then the even larger community. I am called to step into, willingly, a space where connection is possible. where I can connect with those historically disenfranchised people, oppressed people. You know, blacks, gays, transgender, women, the abused ones. And then not just talk about this, and not just look at this that works well, but that too. And to increase my tolerance to hearing the hard stuff, like hearing truly the story, like being willing to sit with that and then own how I've contributed to that. This is fine, but that, and then sit with that, and not wanting to numb it out, numb it however I can. That's hard work, and it's very consequential work. And that is the work that we as a community decided to engage this year. And that's what we are laying the groundwork for, to understand that we wish to do this willingly, because we understand the importance. I mean, it's re-establishing or just establishing connection, heart-to-heart connection with all of us, healing relationships that historically have been so damaged, and then develop the resiliency to sit with that and own it and look at it. How have I contributed? And what is it about me that I now have to square away, give up, heal, change? So I can take that and bring it over to this. That's the work that we have decided to engage in. And I'm humbled by it. I'm scared. I don't really want to get on that plane. It's here. I got the ticket. I committed to it. And I really don't want to get on the plane, because it means that I'm stepping into an unknown. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what that's going to look like for us as a community. I know that I'm not going to be able to control it. But then controlling is just another way of numbing that, by the way. So I'm not going to be able to control it. It's going to require me to be very honest and authentic. It's going to require all of us to be very honest and authentic and open and willing. We're stepping into the great unknown together. And so, yeah, I notice the resistance in myself, and I want to do it anyway. And it is my hope and wish that as we notice this resistance in ourselves, we always make the conscious decision to do it anyway. That we, through the year and for as long as is required, will be willing to look at this and that and heal that so we can bring it over to this. And so it is.